So the next video we're going to be talking about is how to get rid of numbing and tingling in your arms. Okay, anybody having numbing and tingling in their arms? You know, when there's pressure on the spine and pressure on the nerves, which oftentimes is coming from the neck, if you're having arm pain, it could show up as pain, numbness, tingling, weakness, burning in your arm, in your hand. You're having what you think are carpal tunnel symptoms. So numbness and tingling in the arms, you may not feel your entire arm. It may only be somewhere in your hand or in your forearm. And so anything related to numbness and tingling has to do with your nerves. So when your nerves are being irritated and get compressed or irritated, it can cause numbness and tingling to happen. So let's talk about what the main factors are that are influencing this here. So first and foremost, and we've talked on different videos about this, that we want to pay attention to our, what I call our spinal architecture. Our architecture of our body, that our head weighs 12 to 15 pounds. I've heard 10 to 15 pounds. That we have this force of gravity that's pushing down on us all the time. And so oftentimes what happens is the base of the neck, it's a very area that's very prone to injury, it's going to have problems. Well, there are nerves that travel off of the neck and down the arm. And when there's influence and when there's impact on those nerves, numbness and tingling can be affected by that. So at least in terms of your own activity, we want to get our body in as much vertical position as possible. Gravity acts like a hammer. It's hammering us on the top of the head. And so if our body is nice and upright, then what happens is gravity literally travels through us. But if we're bent forward, talking on our phone, you know, doing like this, doing all sorts of different things, our body can start to become twisted a little bit. We want to get the architecture and the spine more straight up and down. So when we look at the picture here, everything's nice and straight. And I know it's a picture. So you're saying, okay, well, how do I do that? Well, it takes practice. And the first is awareness. You have to be aware that it's even something you have to pay attention to. But as much as possible, the body's not perfectly symmetrical, but we want the body to be as symmetrical as it can be. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, look at yourself. Look at the positioning of your shoulders. Put your hands on top of your hips. Notice whether your head's nice and straight, or I remember years ago I was standing in front of the mirror and my shoulders were like this. And I was like, well, why is it like that? And so there was a period of time where I literally had to think about straightening my shoulders, and when I did that it felt really weird. But everybody's at a different place, and sometimes your body's more twisted up than you actually think. So if there's pressure on the base of the neck, it's going to potentially cause that tingling and numbness. So positioning is number one, always. We want to get the body in a better positioning. Then what we need to do is we need to reinforce that position. And so what I've realized in treating people and helping people stay out of spinal surgery and doing different things like that is we want to really, just as much as possible, get the body reinforced into a flat position. And we've talked a little bit about on different videos, but we talked about standing against a flat surface, right? Feet are about 6 inches from the wall. And we've got our body as flat as possible with the arms open. That's one position. It doesn't have to be a wall. It could be a door, a pole, a tree, and you literally could do it in the middle of the room. If I stand here, if normally when you're working on the computer, you're doing this, okay? We need to open the body up and get ourselves in better relation with gravity. So the positioning of your body throughout the day, not only where you are currently now, but influencing it so that your body position stays in a stronger place. And what that will do for you is it will help to reduce the amount of wear and tear and breakdown of your spine and the joints and the pressure on your nerves, and then the impact that it has on your body. The last thing in relationship to the numbing and tingling in the arm is, as we've spoken about before, is about managing the inflammation, right? So oftentimes, imagine you had a pebble in your shoe and it was rolling around. And the pebble was rolling around. And it starts causing some irritation to the foot, and it's wearing through, and next thing you know, you got a hole in the bottom of your foot because that pebble is rolling around. Well, things in your life are kind of like that. You get a little bit of repetition. You do it day in, day out. So you're in front of the computer. Maybe you're walking, or you're a runner, or you're playing a tennis player, right? And so all these moving parts, and you have these wear and tear factors. So when we're looking at preserving the neck, we get the neck into a better position, we reinforce that position, we bring down the inflammation. And then the last thing is around strengthening the body. We want to strengthen the body because most people, their bodies are a little bit weak. And let's say you're out there and you're working out, you're lifting weights, or you're doing yoga. My wife likes to do this really fancy bar class, which they're holding for long periods of time. She invites me to come. I'm like, no, I don't want to come. But as far as you finding activities that strengthens your body, how do we strengthen the body? So we do it through weights. We can do it through body weight exercises. We can do it through taking classes. You can do a live class. You can do it online. Do different things like that. And so begin to pay attention to this positioning, begin to bring down the inflammation, and strengthen your body so that you stay in a better position. That's really the key to helping get rid of the numbing and tingling in your arm. Now there are further steps in that, because sometimes if you're doing all that and the problem is still not going away, the problem may be a little bit more involved. You may actually have to seek professional attention. But at least what you can do right now is that's what you have control over. So try that out, see how it works for you. Make a comment down below in the video if you have questions, or maybe you're not getting the results that you want, and we'll see what we can do to help you to troubleshoot that. So the next video that we're going to do is, we're going to be talking about the dangers of spinal fusion surgery. It may not be what you think it is, but listen, check it out.